Okay, so we're back up in the little mini studio, and we got the projector still set up from yesterday. It's turned on, and the neck is lined up again, and we're going to put on the black stripe. So I'm just going to leave this here so you can see what I'm doing. This is pretty quick. Just got a roll of blue tape in this case. It's a little lower tack. The paint's only been dry for a night, so I don't want to use something too tacky. And what we're going to just do is we're going to, this needs to be adjusted a tiny bit. Might have bumped it. Okay. We're going to line it up on the edges of this black stripe here. Right? Get it on there. Perfect, like. Here we go. I'll tell you, that stripe is not a straight line. That's for sure. Oh, it is an angle. Oop, we moved it. Now we gotta just bring it right back into place. There we go. Okay, so that looks good there. And you can just fold it over the edges here. And then that's where we want the paint to go. So we're going to tape up the rest of this headstock. So we're going to head back down to the table and do the rest of the taping down there. So back downstairs we got a wider roll of blue tape, and we taped off everywhere where we didn't want the black to go, right? So around the edges, what have you. So we're good to go here. Got it all pressed down. And now we're going to use the Behlen's nitrocellulose black lacquer to spray this black coat. And we're just going to do 2 quick passes because it wasn't really like a really solid line. If you kind of look at the picture, it was a little bit kind of, you know, I think faded from the get-go. So I'm going to go now and spray this, and I'll be right back. We sprayed the black on. We ended up doing 2 coats. This stuff covers really well and fast. It's already dry too, so we're going to go ahead and peel the tape and see what we end up with. Once again, like Christmas, peeling tape. So the next thing I've got came in yesterday are the water slides for the logo. So I think we could probably apply those today as well. Apply the logo on today. And then we can take off all the, basically right now I think we could take off everything tape wise and protection wise. I mean, the headstock's finished in terms of painting. We'll be doing some more relicking on it, but that really doesn't require us to protect anything, obviously. It's more about destroying things than protecting things, but controlled destruction. So yeah, we're going to peel that back. Get on this side. Peel it back. Had a little bleed under the blue. But that's normal with that stuff. With the blue tape, it does not have as much tack, really, as the 3M green tape does. So there's a little bit of bleed there, but that, when we're relicking, I think that'll work to our advantage, and I'm sure his had bleed there too. Let's see. That's interesting. Got some green funk on there. Oh, that's from that's the tape underneath there. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and, let me think. Is there anything else that we really need to do? No? So we can probably pretty much go ahead and take all of this stuff off. So I'm not going to bore you with that. but we'll go upstairs and I'm going to peel this off, and then we'll go upstairs and we'll put on the logo. So I'll see you up there. Well, I figured we'd do one thing before we go back up there. We're going to deal with the water slide and the application of the water slide and prep for it. So we've peeled the neck to the tape, and this is our sort of semi-finished product. We've got a couple of logos that we got off of eBay. These look pretty good, so I'm just using my scissors here to sort of cut out one of them. Looks like it's a LaserJet made logo. So hopefully it'll look pretty good. Alright, so what we need to work with this is we're going to need, first of all, like a bowl. So we have a bowl of warm water with just a tiny bit, like just a little bit of soap in it. I mean, basically all I do is a sort of, you know how the soap gets like a little, Seinfeld did an episode about it, how the soap gets a little bit of like a buildup around the nozzle. I just put it through the water stream when I'm filling up the bowl just to get a tiny bit of soap in there, and that helps lubricate everything while you're moving it around and helps with the transfer. So yeah, I get my water ready, logo cut out, and then 2 pieces of paper towel, one that's damp and one that's dry. The damp one will help sort of when you're positioning things and starting to squeeze out water, and then the dry one you can use to press everything down to get the thing to bond nicely. So I'm going to set it all up, and then we're going to apply it upstairs. So I'll see you up there. Alright, so we're back up again with the projector. We got it set up again. We got it lined on the headstock. We've got our bowl of water, our logo, paper towels, and the phones there for using as a stopwatch to time the soaking of the logo. I'm going to place the tripod down on the ground, get the camera in there. And we've got it taped down, the headstock, just so it doesn't move. We got our logo, and now we're going to drop it in. And we've got our thing set for 45 seconds. Going to do a little stirring while we're doing it. I think it was a good idea to tape it down. Last time it moved a little bit. But you can see we've got everything pretty much lined up where we want it in terms of the 2 holes with the bar. I don't know how good the camera is picking up the overlay of the projected image, but you can kind of see that we're real close with the previous hole for the string retainer. So let's check on the thing. 3, 2. All right, and we're done. So we're going to take off the logo now. I'm going to use my finger. Just going to put a little bit of water down where we want the logo to go. And then I drop it in place, and then just very carefully pull out from underneath. Drop that back in the bucket. Now, having pre-wet it, you can kind of move everything around where you want it. And this logo is actually matching up perfectly with this projected image. So we're looking pretty good there. I mean, it's really exactly where it needs to be. So now I take my damp towel, right, and I start to very lightly press down on the water slide, taking a lot of care not to rip it or wrinkle it. So this is where you can rip things, right? So make sure it's back in place and move it a tiny bit. There we go. Now I'm going to take the dryer towel and I'm going to place it down. Once again, checking that everything's in place, and it is. And I'm just going to really press down on the towel now and really try to squeeze out the remaining water from underneath the water slide. And that should bond it. It appears to be in place. So I think we're good to go now. That should be adhered. So that's pretty much how you apply the decal. I think we're basically done with the projector, so now we can, take it down and move it out of the room, and we'll use it again for doing the body when we start painting that. And I've got tape on the way for taping up the body. I needed to use some of the 3M 471 vinyl tape for the perimeter, as it kind of conforms better to curves and things, and you'll see why that's important when we get to that stage. But let's leave it here, and I'll see you guys later. I just thought a quick word before we leave for the day. This is the final sort of look of it. We're not going to put any of the hardware on it yet, because obviously we want to do some polishing and some work to this to the paint and what have you. And I would leave the logo alone for 24 hours at least to let it set, because right now it's pretty well fixed, but you could probably still move it. So I'd leave everything alone. So we're going to leave it like this, and then maybe tomorrow or the day after we'll get on kind of finishing the look of the headstock. All right, so that's it for today.